Welcome to the tutorial. In this video, we'll be seeing the continuation of MySQL Python connectivity. In the last video, you would have seen how to connect MySQL and Python, and I would have explained some basics of the connectivity, and installation instructions is also explained in that. In the previous video, I would have explained how to install the MySQL connector Python by downloading the software from the internet. And in this video, I'll just explain you the other way of connectivity using the command line. For that, what you have to have is you should have the environmental variables. The Python must be added to the environmental variable. To check that, you can find out the environmental variable. If you see the path, Python must be added to the environment variable. After this is available, you can move to the command prompt by typing cmd. You can see the command prompt window wherein you can type this particular command, python -m pip install mysql -connector -python. If you're giving this and pressing the enter key, you can see, because I have already installed, it is telling that already the connectivity is available. If it is not installed, it is going to continue with the installation procedure, and after it is over, you can check for the connectivity by moving to the Python shell. By giving import mysql.connector and pressing enter key, it is not going to show you any error. This is a way you can check whether the SQL connector is installed properly or not. And after this, the next step is you have to have the XAMPP server or some other server which is going to start MySQL. I'm going to start SQL server by clicking this start button, and now you can directly move to the program. This is a sample program in which initially import mysql.connector as connection. It is given. The meaning of this is mysql.connector. It is a module. For this, we are giving another name called connection, and this name is again written in the next line, and from which we are going to invoke the connect function, which is again going to have some named parameters. Host is equal to local host, because the SQL server is run in the machine itself, in our own machine itself, the local host, and user is root, password is by default empty, and database name is test. Usually when we are executing in the Python shell, in the SQL shell, we used to specify all this MySQL -u root -p, and then if we press an enter key, and password, I'm just pressing enter key because I don't have any password, will be entering into the SQL server. This -u is nothing but the username root, and p is nothing but the password. Password is nothing. All these specification must be told. After this, the next step is we will be making use of the database. For example, test database is already available by default, so I'm using use test. The database is getting changed. The database name, the name of the user, name, what is the password, and where the SQL server is available. All these details must be specified in the first line when we are connecting with the server. Next step, what we are I'm trying to print the connectivity, and we can also check the connectivity by means of the function. This is a function mycon.isConnected. This is a function which is available in the connector object, which can be checked. If it is returning false, then there is an error connecting to the SQL database. If it is true, then we can proceed with our execution of the queries. The next step after that is, from the connectivity object, this is the connector object. From the connector object, we need to invoke the cursor function. This cursor function is going to return us with the cursor object. This is the object with which we are going to execute the query. We are going to fetch the details from the database, and everything will be done using this cursor object only from this point onwards. So my cursor dot execute, I need to find how many, what are all the data available from, let me remove this, from the table called student. First, let us check whether the student table is available. Show tables. So student 1 is available. This is in the SQL server. When we need to select some details, select star from student. I have these many data available in the table called student 1. Now, when I need to execute the same query here, using the cursor object, I need to invoke the function called execute, wherein I need to specify the SQL query, select start from student. By specifying this query, when we are executing, the fetched result will be available in my cursor. After the result set is available in my cursor, we need to make use of the function called fetch all. We'll be seeing different types of function available from which using which we can retrieve the result from the cursor object. First one which we are going to see is fetch all. The data is the variable which is going to retrieve all the result. Here all the records from student 1 will be stored in the tuple form. Let us see how the data will be printed on the screen. If I'm just printing the variable data, all the records from the student 1. If I need to retrieve each and every record from the data, I can have a loop. This is a normal loop which you have to know at this point. For I in data, in the sense each and every element in data, we are going to print the element one by one. Element in the sense each and every tuple will be printed on the screen and execute. You see here, firstly the connector object. I'm printing the connector object mydb, that is printed here. And the next line is within the list, I have all the tuples available, right? Each and every row is available as a tuple. And this is the way you can select all the records from the student at a single. Now, if I'm having fetch 1, suppose fetch all is used and you need to know about the row count variable which is available. After fetch all is used, if I'm trying to print my cursor dot row count, how many ever records is being fetched from the table, that row count will be specified. So here how many records are available? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is available. So 6 will be printed on the screen. This is one method of fetching the records from the table. The other method is fetch 1. I'm just going to fetch only first record from the table. When fetch 1 is given for the first time, first record will be fetched. So I need not have this. Let me again execute. Again call the function fetch 1. Here when I am fetching the next record, the row count will be so far how many rows is being retrieved from the table. So first record is retrieved, so this is the second record. So far the 2 records are retrieved from the table, so 2 will be printed on the screen. Here the third record will be printed in this place and 3 will be printed on the screen, and let us see the result. 1 first record, 2 second record, and 3 the third record is printed on the screen. Now this is fetch 1 is the other method. As I said, one by one the record will be retrieved from the result set. The last one is fetch many. If fetch many is given and 2 records if I am fetching, then the row count will be, until now 2 records is being fetched, so 2 will be written here, and whatever is stored in the data, the first 2 records in the form of a list, it will be retrieved. So 2 records as such it is retrieved when I am fetching many. So this fetch many has one parameter which must be supplied to the function. That parameter is nothing but the number of records we need to fetch from the result set. The next is next record will be fetched, because fetch 1 is used, the next record will be fetched, and again if fetch 1 is used, the other record, the fourth record is fetched from the table. The formatting techniques which are available, which is by making use of the parameterized query. Suppose I need to select from the database, select from the table some particular element depending upon some parameter. In that case, we need to make use of percentage formatting, which is old style of formatting, and another one is without percentage formatting. We'll be making use of dot format, which is a function, which is a new style of formatting. Here the formatting structure is in this way: f percentage v. F represents the query string itself, and v represents the values which we are going to put in this place, which will be substituted in the string. Let us see with an example. For example, I need to have this. This is the query string. I'll be having separately query is equal to select star from student 1, where let me have the variable, for the variable city equal to, what I need to give is percentage yes. Because this city is a string type, I need to give this percentage yes within the quotes, and I need to close this quotes. And now our query string is over, and we need to specify the value of this percentage yes. How to specify is, there are different methods of specifying. First one is by specifying in the same line percentage, and then in the form of a tuple, we need to give the single element which I need to fetch along with the comma, and this is a string, so I need to give it within the quotes. And this particular query will be executed when I'm giving query inside this execute function. So I'm just executing, but I didn't see the result. In order to see the result, what we need to do is my cursor dot fetch all. If you print my cursor dot fetch all, you can see all the result available. So wherever the city is Chennai alone, it is being retrieved from the table. This is one type of passing the parameter. This is the old style of formatting using percentage formatting technique. So this is other method of passing of formatting the string. Here I have a tuple city input, wherein I can have whatever values I need to store in the tuple. Here in this case, I have considered two values to be checked. I am checking city is equal to Chennai and roll number is equal to some roll number. Because roll number is of integer type, I need not have the quotes here. And after percentage, I'm having the tuple city input here to sit here. So after this query is being formatted, the value Chennai will be put over here and 31 will be put over in this place. And this is the way you can format the query string. The next type is without the percentage, you can have dot format function. The same values, let me show it by using the next type of formatting. Query is equal to, same thing I can have. Here what I need to have is open braces and close braces instead of percentage yes, and then close the quotes, after which dot format. I need to specify the parameters now. After this, the same way of fetching the records. Can you see this is the first query's result and this is the next query result. The same query is written in different ways. Now this can also be passed in another manner, wherein I can have some name here. I can have some name as city name, and here role I can specify city name equal to Chennai and role equal to 31. So this is also going to execute correctly, and I can also give, if I'm giving some named parameter, I can change the order, and also I can give it. It is going to execute correctly even if I'm changing the values, because I'm having some name and I'm initializing. When I'm having the name and initializing, I can give in any order. So these are the different types of formatting options which are available. And if you are getting some input from the user and storing it here also, the same way you can have it in a variable by getting the input from the user, and that variable can be put in this place or in this positions. This is a insert query. Let us see one example with the insert query. And whenever insertion or updations are being done, insert, update or delete, when we are manipulating the data inside the table, we have to have a function called commit. Commit method must be run at the end in order to make the changes reflected to the database when insert and update queries are used. Let us see one example to insert the query into the database. So this is a description of student. We have roll number, name, age and city. This is the order in which we need to insert the query. Roll number 110, name, age and city. Here I need to insert the data into the database. Insert into student 1 values, and then I have 4 values to sit over here within the bracket. So what I need to do is, first value is a number, so I need to have percentages. Second value is a string, so within the quotes. Third value I have a number. Fourth one again a string. Now after this query is over, I need to have my cursor dot execute query. What to do is, we need to commit using the database connectivity object. So my db dot commit. So after this, let us check the result in the shell itself. So the insertion of the data is over, and here let me select the data from the student 1 and see whatever I have inserted, 110, Raja, 6 and Delhi, it is getting reflected in the table. If you need to see in the Python, using Python program, you can execute the query, select star from student 1 and see the result. Now other way of using is, instead we can make use of the braces. Here within the quotes and again within the quotes. After this is over, here dot format. Here if I'm making use of the dot format function, I can have the value specified here. Here either we can give the name and invoke the values, or you can directly have, if I'm giving in this way, 120 will be placed over here, and the name of the person Guru will be pasted here, and 16 in this position and Calcutta in this position. Now when I'm going to execute, let me see in the table, the last value has got added into the table. So this is a way you can have the query string to get formatted, and in order to make the changes to get reflected into the table, you need to make use of commit function, and the same is applicable for the update query also. Thank you all for watching this video.